What does a day for the world's largest aircraft carrier look like? Have you ever heard of the USS Gerald R Ford? Is that the most expensive battleship? Well, we have answers to all these questions. Today we look at a day in the life of the world's largest aircraft carrier. Let's get into the video without further ado. The nuclear-powered USS Gerald R Ford, which is named after the 38th President of the United States and a former lieutenant commander in the Navy, is the largest aircraft carrier in the world. It is also the largest warship ever constructed in terms of displacement, and one of the largest ships in the world. Without any doubt, it is the most expensive one. The USS Gerald R Ford, the first carrier of its class, was commissioned in May 2017. The officially announced 4 other vessels in this class are currently under construction. The Gerald R Ford is currently in service and measures 337 meters in length with a beam of 78 meters. The ships have 100,000 total load displacement, and their 78 m long flight decks are equipped with electromagnetic aircraft launch systems and cutting-edge arresting gear. The USS Gerald R Ford can house 4,539 people and more than 75 aircrafts. It has RIM-162 Evolved Sea Sparrow missiles, airframe missiles or RAMs, and Phalanx Close-In Weapon System, or CIWS, and is powered by 2 nuclear reactors, providing a 250% increase in electrical capacity over the Nimitz class. In March 2022, the USS Gerald R Ford finished its initial scheduled incremental availability. The 6-month PIA includes maintenance and modernization work to give the carrier the most recent updates. The aircraft carrier took 8 years to construct and another few years to test, and it is tall enough to tower over the tallest structure in many large cities. The aircraft carrier features a remarkable 25 decks housed within the enormous area. Over $75 billion are thought to have been spent on the construction project overall, of which $5 billion were spent on research. After multiple delays, it came in at 22% over budget. Construction began in 2009 and was finished and handed to the Navy in late 2017, after Donald Trump formally commissioned the ship. Gerald Ford died during the construction stage. Thus, while the naming was already in place, Ford could never witness the finished project. What basic services do they offer? Let's take a look. Of course, the ship's principal function is to serve as a launch pad for the 75 aircraft. There is a sizable hangar where planes are kept while not on deck or engaged in missions. Numerous large lifts inside the hangar can transport various weapons from shortage areas to the aircraft ready to be armed. You've probably seen videos of military planes performing high-speed takeoffs and landing from aircraft carriers. The Gerald R Ford's deck is the longest available for these daring pilots, yet they must still launch and land their jets on less than 1,100 feet of deck, all with a tremendous overhanging drop-off into the ocean. The aircraft is controlled by a bubble, which is more formally an integrated catapult control system, and via which officers set up the high-speed catapult-assisted takeoffs. The positioning of the aircraft on the deck is assisted by powerful computers in the tower. The Gerald Ford could launch 25% more aircraft daily with 25% fewer crew members than the Nimitz version of warships that came before it. This is due to the advancements in technology. Over time, it is believed that the fewer crew members needed will help reduce the new ship's high cost. Additionally, compared to the steam-powered catapults it replaced, Ford's electromagnetic launch system is lighter, smaller, and requires less upkeep. The reduced strain is intended to help the aircraft itself, and technical changes will allow more various types of aircraft to be launched. Officers still have access to the conventional procedure and Ouija Board model. In the case of the Ford, the sailors gather autographs of renowned guests, including presidents, on currency and keep them on their Ouija board. A legacy safety feature put in place after a weapons malfunction aboard the USS Forrestal in the 1960s resulted in a fire and more than 100 fatalities. The side of the deck is equipped with chutes for dumping any weapons that might be misfired. Now let's have a look at the defense mechanism they provide. The ship has many Sea Sparrows, short-range anti-aircraft and anti-missile weapons to defend its own decks. The ship is also equipped with RAM weaponry, which is mobile light surface-to-air weapons. The bridge from which the gigantic ship can be propelled to speeds of more than 30 knots by the twin nuclear engines serves as the primary control center. As you may think, stopping at 100,000 tons takes a long time. While the ship's essential functions are normally operated digitally, there is a conventional steering wheel as a backup. Both paper and digital systems are employed to navigate, but the touchscreen setup is believed to be near the drive itself. Gerald R Ford, which has the motto, "Integrity at the helm," is naturally equipped with a lot of military gear. Still, it is also made to offer a basic level of comfort to the thousands of people who may reside there from extended periods. On the other hand, the Ford is a modern carrier with gender-neutral restrooms, because most people on board are men. There are no urinals on the entire ship. However, the explanation is not political, but rather practical. Other modern modifications include USB ports for phone charging, energy-efficient light bulbs, fewer people per cabin, large exercise rooms, and enhanced air conditioning. The extra room has allowed for separate sleeping and relaxing areas. Crew members are also impressed by shorter meal queues, linked to the ship's layout and upgrades to their staterooms. There are flat-screen TVs with on-demand TV, boxing facilities, and a chapel. Markings on the hangar floor indicate that it can also be used as a basketball court, which could lead to some exciting games at sea. The opulent conference rooms have polished tables and ceremonial flags, while the captain's cabin houses a large collection of Gerald Ford memorabilia. There's even a lovely backstory connecting President Ford to the ship. The image of Henry Ford hangs above the aircraft hangar. He has been honored not only as president, but also as a Navy veteran. Now, what about the design features of the USS Gerald R Ford? The Ford class is the first new design for an aircraft carrier in the United States Navy since the Nimitz CVN-68. Shipbuilders discovered hidden value in every square inch of the ship during the design phase, saving the Navy an estimated $4 billion in ownership costs over the ship's 50-year lifespan. The ship will be outfitted with 2 newly developed reactors and will have a capacity of 250% greater than prior carriers. The upgrades will allow the ship to load armaments and launch planes more quickly. Ford's Island, the ship's flight command center, has been remodeled. It employs cutting-edge technology in flat panel array radar systems and dual-band radar. The island is 20 feet taller and 20 feet shorter than prior aircraft carriers' islands. It is 140 feet further aft and 3 feet further outboard than its predecessor. CVN-78's flight deck has been fully rebuilt and repositioned. As a result, the ability to launch and recover aircraft operations is expected to increase by 25%. To do this, the carrier has 3 aircraft elevators rather than 4, and the island is 140 feet further aft. Moreover, Newport News Shipbuilding designed and planned the construction of the Ford-class aircraft carriers using a full-scale 3-dimensional product model. Visual integration in design, engineering, planning, and construction is now possible thanks to a major investment. CVN-78 is the first aircraft carrier in the United States Navy to be designed as a full-scale 3D product model. All in all, we think it would take a long time at sea to even get to know the stacked floors and modern technology that make up Gerald Ford. The sheer size of the place would certainly offer plenty of variety in terms of work and entertainment. That, we think, would be entertaining in itself. Would you step on board, or would being restricted to an area even this big in the middle of the ocean just be a little too much? Let us know in the comments section below. If you're new to the channel, do subscribe and turn on the notification bell so that you don't miss any of the latest updates. I'll see you in the next video. Take care and goodbye.